in Germany. Tyreek Hill will score a touchdown against the... I do, Sam. I care.
Okay, who do you have pass on 4th down? So take that. I'll shave it off. All right, welcome back to another episode of the In The Huddle podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sam Lawrence.
And I'm Chris Rotundo.
It's the mid-season. So that means we got another episode coming at you. We got Kirktober coming to an unfortunate end. We got team comparisons. We got quarterbacks not playing well. We got, of course, game predictions, revenge on Arthur Smith. We got a lot to talk about. Trades, Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone.
We already had a trade that we'll get into in a little bit, Sam. It's starting to ramp up. Trade deadline tomorrow. We're recording this Monday, October 30th. So lots going to happen between now and this time next week.
All right, let's roll the intro. Haha.
You're listening to In The Huddle with Sam Gold and Chris Rotundo.
All right, Chris. Well, trade deadline's coming up very soon. We got a couple pieces of news. Nothing crazy is broken yet, but we do have 2 Leonards to talk about going to different teams. Chris, you want to start us off?
We do. First off, Giants have traded Leonard Williams to the Seattle Seahawks for a 2nd and 4th rounder. I know it's definitely a 2nd rounder. But Sam, I like this trade for both sides. The Giants, they waved the white flag. Season's over for them. We know it. And the Seahawks are a team who, this is a great addition for their defense, and they're a team that they really feel they can contend out and come out in that NFC. Good win against the Browns this week. Geno's playing well. JSN starting to get more looks. So
yep, game winner.
This is a Seahawks team that made a trade that I really like, and it's a move for the Giants, get more draft capital. So I think it's a win for both sides.
It kind of puts it into perspective, like how 2 different sides of the coin happened after this past season with the Giants and the Seahawks, because those were the 2 teams last year that weren't, no one had them making the playoffs, but they both surprised and both made the playoffs and did well. Except now this year, one team, the Giants, has completely failed. The other team, the Seahawks, have, with the Niners losing, the number 1 spot in the NFC West. They're 5-2. Geno Smith, who everyone thought, that's probably going to be like a Jeremy Lin type season, a one-hit wonder. No, he's the same type of guy, and their entire roster has gotten better. Better defense. Kenneth Walker has stayed healthy. He's been good. You just mentioned their receivers. So getting Leonard Williams just shows what 2 different sides of the coin these 2 teams are on for the Giants.
And quietly, the other rookie wide receiver for the Seahawks, Jake Bobo, I think.
Yeah.
He's two touchdowns in back-to-back games.
I think it's 3 in a row, actually.
3 in a row, so.
Maybe. 3 out of 4, maybe.
Would you look at that? 2 receivers right there that the Seahawks added to their team. So that wide receiver depth, very deep, and it's looking pretty good. But Sam, before we continue, I just have a few shout-outs I would like to make going into this week. So first off, I just want to shout out Tony Pollard for fooling fantasy managers across the world into people thinking that he's good. Spoiler alert, I am one of those fantasy managers. And we're hitting the Cowboys with the double whammy because now we have the Cowboys shouting them out for having a game this week that Cowboy fans are going to yet again think that their team is going to go all the way. LOL. And now we have the Denver Broncos. Congratulations. This is your first win against the Kansas City Chiefs since September 17th, 2015. And fun fact, Sam and I weren't even friends for a full month at that point yet.
No, it was literally our 2nd week of high school, and we're both 22 years old, and we've graduated college.
So let's put that into perspective and have fun with, what is that, their 2nd win of the year? 3rd win of the year?
3rd win of the year. We're going to get to that game because both of us suffered tough losses this weekend.
Congratulations. And my final shout out of the week goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers for being so loyal that they are blinded by seeing what the bigger picture is. And,
Oh, Chris, that's you in there holding the sign. Oh, I'm just kidding. It looks nothing. Okay, never mind.
I'm numb to the pain of this inept offense at this point. So those are all my shout outs for the week. I hope it made Steeler fans, Cowboy fans,
I like this.
and Bronco fans all very happy because
let's make this a continuous thing every week.
Thing?
I like the slideshow. I like the approach. Gives them a good visual of how you're feeling.
Between Tony Pollard, between Gus Edwards vulturing all the Lamar Jackson touchdowns, between the Steelers putting up 9, the injuries, it was
You have some fantasy grievances, guys. I had a rough episode last week. I've probably hit rock bottom. We'll get to all that stuff later on, but man, that was I'm glad you're grieving, airing some grievances right now because I need someone to take off the steam from me from last episode. I got way too crazy.
It was a rough fantasy day.
Oh, trust me, there's gonna be more of those moments still. I get, I'm so passionate about football, I can't help myself. So.
All right, Sam, do you want to move on to the Battle of New York?
Sure. Really quickly, Leonard Fournette went to the Bills.
Yeah, that was quiet.
Like, who cares? Who cares?
Playoff Lenny?
I guess if the Bills can even make the playoffs at this point. All right. Okay, anyways.
All right. Jets Giants, horrific game. Jets win in overtime, 13-10. But the reason we're talking about this game because it was probably one of the worst games that could ever exist.
Even the announcer said it.
Yeah.
Remember he said that? Who was the announcer of this game?
I was watching Red Zone. I don't even remember.
I can't remember, but it was funny when he said it because he was saying basically what everyone was thinking.
Yeah.
Which was, I ragged on this game last week. Like, who is buying tickets to Jets Giants? You could buy it for $10 in preseason to see those two teams match up. That's when Aaron Rodgers threw literally his only touchdown to the Jets. You could have watched a way better game in preseason for $10, except you want to spend $200 to sit out in the rain to watch a 13-10 game that's supposedly a thriller. Okay, fine. Yeah, you do you.
It was disappointing all around, and this honestly makes the Jets look worse than I think that the Giants look. Listen, the Giants were with their backup with Tyrod Taylor, and then Tyrod gets hurt, and you have the Jersey boy, DeVito, come in.
Do we have another Younghoe coup where we have to almost give up our location because he lives nearby? Okay. No.
But it was just, they didn't even trust him enough to throw until overtime. They threw 2 dump-offs to Saquon Barkley. But my whole thing is the Jets barely got by this Giants team down to their third-string quarterback, who is the emergency quarterback, and the Jets only scored 13 points. So that's kind of saying a bunch, but hey, a win's a win. They're 4-3, and it really makes me think if they hit Aaron Rodgers, this season is a big what if.
Well, that's what it is. Like, you're 4-3, which is basically what people thought you were going to be with Aaron Rodgers. We saw the warm-up videos of Aaron Rodgers pre-game, throwing absolute dots. I mean, yeah, he's not running around using his Achilles as much, of course, but I don't get it. I don't know what he's doing in the offseason, or not the offseason, but just, out of the team. Like, I don't know how he's doing this, Chris, but there is a chance. There's a chance if the Jets sneak in there somehow at the 7th seed. I don't know. Like, are they prepared? Like, can they make it?
Who was it?
Crazy.
Cam Akers returned off an Achilles. What was it? 5 months?
Yeah.
Oh, so.
And Javonte Williams is back this season.
We've seen it's possible to return from Achilles injury with less than a year. So we'll see what happens. But do I think Rodgers will return this year? I'm never going to say never, but I think it's highly unlikely. It's just one of those weird scenarios when it's Aaron Rodgers. Who knows what type of treatment and what he's doing? Because, he's one of those guys that he'll do all sorts of stuff. He'll go to like a mountaintop and take some random shit. I don't even know.
He'll overdose on Tylenol is what we're saying. I'm kidding.
But we'll see. And Jet fans, they have a right to be talking about, if Rodgers never got hurt this, if Rodgers never got hurt that. But it's one of those big what if seasons. And to be honest, on to next year, Jet fans. Let's just be real here.
You're already moving on?
Yeah, moving on.
I think they have, I don't want to ruin the background, but I'm pretty sure they have a decent schedule coming up.
Let's just say they get the 7th seed. Let's just say in this hypothetical, okay? They get the 7th seed. They make it to the playoffs. Rodgers returns. The 1 seed. Let's just say the Chiefs get the 1 seed.
They have to play the 2 first. So.
Okay.
Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, something like
Chiefs,
that.
Bills, Bengals.
Ravens.
Those 3 teams right there. Even with Rodgers, the Jets aren't better.
You want to see it happen. Like,
a part of it
wouldn't that be a crazy ending to the season? Not if the Jets won. Let's be real. All Jets fans, it. Their season. If Aaron Rodgers came back, you could already picture the memes of, wow, you had Aaron Rodgers miraculously come back and you still lost first round in the playoffs. Like, I'm sorry, Jets fans, you could still picture that.
So when you put it into a perspective like that, between the Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, whichever one of those teams are going to be the 2 or 3 seed, or the 2 seed, say the Jets get the 7th seed, it's an uphill battle for them, but it is one hell of a story.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, that was a possible happy ending for Jets fans. Let's talk about another tortured fan base who had probably the worst end to Kirktober that they've had so far in his career. Kirk Cousins, unfortunately, speaking of Achilles, did unfortunately tear his Achilles out for the season, of course.
Terrible.
And honestly, I think, it's safe to say, I've seen a lot of Vikings fans talk about it. I'm sorry, Al.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know he tore his Achilles? Did you even know he had the injury at all?
No.
Yeah, he left the game and he was hobbling.
I thought it was an ankle injury.
Yeah,
I thought he had like an ankle sprain. He'll miss
No.
1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah, it looked like just kind of like a normal, like, okay, he just, he twisted his ankle or whatever. And then he did sit on the cart, but he was like happy. He was like clapping for the team, cheering. I'm like, all right, he's going to be out for the rest of the game, maybe a few weeks, like you said. And then, yeah, it came out, torn Achilles, and that might literally be his last snap on the Vikings, which is, Vikings fans, kind of like your Alex Smith, like he kind of tortured you once it came to the playoffs and to make that big play. But, it's still way better than having a bad quarterback. And Kirk, he put his heart and soul into that team, and he still won a decent amount of games for you guys. You had such a fun season last year. Jasper is circling the living room. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's a Vikings fan. Maybe he doesn't want... What is going on? Okay. But look, Chris, what is he doing?
He's trying to get out, but the couch is...
Hey, you're going to have to listen to us talk about Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry, buddy. Okay, all right.
Let's
keep from being distracted. Look.
But yeah, it's tough, and especially, we know, the Viking season, it didn't get off to a good start, but they were winning some games, and they were really making a push for...
They had a chance, and
they had a chance, and that's what sucks.
The epitome, Vikings fans, listen, that's like... Look, my brother's a Vikings fan. We have Al here as a Vikings fan. I know what it's like to talk to Vikings fans. Like, you guys are some of the nicest fan base. Like, you guys are some of the nicest people, most passionate fan bases in sports. I feel awful for you guys. Like, to be able to have that season last year and then that horrible ending in the playoffs and then to have a bad start, win 3 in a row, and then have Kirk Cousins tear his ACL. I mean, there's nothing more devastating than that. I mean, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So... Look, we knew Kirk Cousins was going to be gone, at the end of the season, but this was like quite literally the worst point of the season you could. Mid-season, you came off, you beat the Niners, you beat a division opponent, you're 4-4. You're going to be a wild card if you keep this up.
And it's especially tough for obviously Kirk. We know it sucks, but going off of what we spoke about a little bit earlier, fantasy. If you're a Jefferson owner, he's going to be coming back pretty soon. Jordan Addison, he was breaking out.
Is Jefferson coming back, though, you think? Now that Kirk Cousins is gone? You think I feel like there's a 50-50 shot that he says, you know what, what's the point? I'm just going to hang it up for the year, get healthy, maybe get paid somewhere else.
Who knows?
I don't know.
That's something that we'll have to wait and see. I think he's going to come back. I don't think he's just going to sit the rest of the season away. But like if you owned Addison, Jefferson, Hawkinson, basically any part of this Vikings offense at this point is... For fantasy purposes, with the playoffs now approaching in a few weeks, you're doomed at especially
it's over.
And really cool, let's talk about in recent years the pick, the 101 hasn't been very good. I mean, we had Jefferson this year, a few years ago with McCaffrey, and it seemed like they always found a way to boom in the beginning and then get hurt.
Yep.
And it would just cost you.
I know. I am I've aired a lot of grievances about fantasy on this podcast thus far, but I will say the one thing I did right was pick Tyreek Hill in the first round, so thank God for that.
Well, which, by really quickly,
yards. Yeah, 1,000
first
yards.
time through 8 weeks, a receiver has 1,000 yards in the Super Bowl era, which is insane. And I would have thought he would have done it with Mahomes, like I told you. And even
Kelce eats away a good chunk of that, though.
Waddle too, that's the thing.
Yeah, but Kelsey's also like a 1,300-yard guy. Waddle will like just scrape by with 1,000. So I know what you mean, though. All right.
Still amazing.
Speaking of quarterbacks with some negativity around them, not as bad as Kirk Cousins' injury, of course, but let's talk about the team that the Vikings just beat, the Packers, really quickly. Chris, I was the highest on the Packers, possibly.
You got me on them, especially after that Week 2 victory.
Exactly. The Week 2 victory, the Week 3 comeback where Jordan Love looked great
against
in that
the
fourth
Saints,
quarter.
the 18 points.
And I was rolling. I was like, this is one of the best predictions I've
I
made.
thought it went from gold to... Yikes.
To I don't really want to say it, but like you crap the bed. Like this is, look, Packers fans, like every quarterback that you've had over the last 30 plus years has been just a gift. And I don't think you're ready to admit that Jordan Love is just a guy you have to move on as quickly as possible. I know you were basically babysitting him for a few years with Aaron Rodgers, but look, sometimes even like that Alex Smith effect, getting, sitting behind him for a year or two, doesn't work. Like if a guy isn't talented enough, you just got to move on. And I will absolutely admit here in week 8 that I'm wrong. Jordan Love is a backup quarterback. He can't make the big throw. I mean, how many times over the last few weeks have you seen Christian Watson wide open? Romeo Dubs open, and he just can't make, honestly, some easy throws.
Time and time again. And, we got to look at this. Like, it is his rookie season, but at the same time, how old is Jordan Love? 25, 26?
Yeah.
He's older, so the window for seeing what he can produce is not as long as it would be for, say, obviously like a Bryce Young or Stroud, who are younger and true they're legit rookies now. So the Packers, I don't think they're going to move on from Love after this year. I do think they're going to let it ride out next year. That's just my take on it. But I would not be surprised if mid-season next year they're like, all right, he's done, or if they draft a quarterback this year or something. But Love's not the guy. It sucks, especially with how high I was on Christian Watson. You have Dobbs, you have Reed, Musgrave. I mean, you have good guys in Green Bay who, with Jordan Love, have been able to produce. So you upgrade at quarterback, and this Packer team will hit the ground running. But Jordan Love, he's just a backup quarterback. If we're gonna keep it real.
I felt a little bit of responsibility because I locked eyes with him in the offseason, and I really thought that was going to give him a push, and that's why I picked the Packers.
Did you write your number on a little note and give it to him?
I almost did, honestly. But guys, tell me if this drives you to being a bad quarterback. Just looking into these eyes. I'm sorry, Jordan Love. I'm sorry. I must have just driven you crazy. I'm sorry.
He's still thinking about you.
I'm a little depressed.
He's looking for you, Jordan Love.
Let's move on. All right.
This episode just turned into a Jordan Love rom-com.
Okay.
All right. That was weird.
Chris, where's the comedy in him being bad? Because I don't find that funny. Okay. I took it very seriously at the beginning of the season. Okay. Anyways,
the comedy is the idiots who bet on the Packers week after week getting disappointed. That's the comedy.
10-7. Okay.
Were you at 10-7?
Yeah.
Ooh. I think.
Okay. What did you put the Bears? Super Bowl?
No, I said 10 wins.
No, you said conference championship at least.
I did not.
Let's go check the tape. All right. Really quickly before we get to
Eagles-Niners rematch.
I could have sworn. Okay, maybe. I don't know. I believe you. Really quickly, let's do... I want to just make a quick comparison because I found this pretty interesting. I think the Bills and the Cowboys are the same team, different conferences.
Well, the Bills can at least win a playoff game.
Cowboys won one last year.
The Bills have had more success with this one. I see where you're coming from.
Do you want to know why I'm comparing them? It's the fact that anytime they win, they blow out someone, and their offense looks like the best in the NFL. And then any other time that it's a close game, they usually end up losing, and they don't look good. And plus the playoffs, they always disappoint in the playoffs. I don't know. It just something with like watching the Bills be on this little bad streak and also remembering how good they were towards the beginning of the season, other than the Jets game. And now watching the Cowboys get blown out by the 49ers and now have this game against the Rams where they absolutely destroyed them. It's just like, I feel like I'm watching the same thing, just different conferences every week. And it's like, how can anyone truly think these are contenders? Like,
I think the biggest thing is the fact that the Cowboy fans go on the record and say, this is our year after year. I feel like you're in like the Reddit streets, the Instagram streets, all that. I don't take part in any of that. But
yeah, I'm subscribed to the Buffalo Bills Reddit.
Are you actually?
No.
I
actually got banned from the Cowboys Reddit 2 years ago.
Of course.
No, after Dak had the slide, I like made fun of him in the thing, and then I immediately got banned. So I'm sorry.
Of course you did. I feel like you just have a bunch of burner Reddit accounts.
Yeah, I have like 70.
But no, I just feel like I just never heard a Bills fan say, "Oh, this is our year," this and that. Cowboy fans year after year.
There's one difference, but we're talking about the team itself. Like even Josh Allen and Dak, I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but even Josh Allen and Dak Prescott, like they're both prone to throwing 3 interceptions in any given game. Look, I can't really talk right now because Mahomes has been throwing a lot of picks, especially in this past game, but just in general, just overall, I don't know. I feel like these are two teams that can't get to the Super Bowl, and they're very similar. And I came to that realization this Sunday. So I don't know. That's how I feel.
It doesn't help for the Bills that the path in the AFC is way harder than the NFC.
But like, what happens if the Cowboys and the Lions face off in the playoffs?
The Lions win.
You really think so?
Yeah.
Like that's okay. That's a fine argument because I really don't know. I don't know. Like, it's just something weird with the Cowboys. I don't buy it. This happens every year. They literally put up 56 against the Colts last year, and then like can't play against 49. I don't know. They're weird. All right, let's move on.
Well, it's like I said earlier with the Cowboys giving their fans false hope.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the same story every year.
Okay. All right. We have some bad games we have to get through.
Hey, this is a bad episode for us. Both of our teams
Of our
lost.
teams. Chris, let's start with Steelers, Jaguars. Just take it away.
I'm not going to recycle all the BS that I normally say because I said it time and time again. The offense is abysmal. Sam, I saw that.
Sorry, I had to. This is the hat that I came in during the Jags Steelers.
Yeah, this is actually pretty much like a throwback episode.
It's actually crazy that I decided to dress up like this for Halloween. I was thinking about this before I realized that the Steelers and Jaguars played against each other, so it just makes it even better.
But no, this is 3 years now that this offense has been pitiful. We have Minka Fitzpatrick going down with an injury. I don't know what the extent is. I saw him holding his hamstring, just like Fryermuth hamstring injury and Deontay Johnson hamstring injury. So we have a bit of a hamstring injury bug. Kenny Pickett gets hurt. Clear concussion protocol, but hurt his rib. Status for Thursday up in the air. And it was just an all-around bad game. Now, I did say the Jaguars would win against the Steelers because the Jaguars are just, frankly, a better team. But the Steelers, they need to figure something out. It's the same stuff. We all know what they need to do, and they're not going to do it. Hence, like I said earlier,
You want to bring up the picture again?
prone to loyalty. Because if we go
There it
to the
is.
slideshow right here, that guy, Matt Canada, he's the guy that needs to go. It's the same stuff over and over again, and I'm kind of just sick of it, especially when you reminisce on the good old days and you had Ben, Bell, and Brown, and then you have an offense like this.
Did you see Ben Roethlisberger
It's just
visiting the Vikings? Did you see that?
Why?
It's wild. I don't know if it's true or not, but I thought I could have sworn I've seen it. That's wild. I'm sorry to sidetrack,
But, your offense, the Steelers' offense is a joke. And really quick praise to the Jaguars, the team who I have coming out of the AFC. They lead the league in defensive takeaways, which defense wins championships, and that is crucial, taking away your opponent's offensive possession. So, little statistic right there. And, they kind of got to pad those stats playing against Mitchell Trubisky for part of the game as well. I sound so depressed right there. I sound so upset.
Kenny Pickett. Come on. It's time to move on, Chris.
They're not moving on from him from this year.
Come on. You know he's not the guy. Don't be a Giants fan with Daniel Jones. I don't care that Matt Canada's there. Come on.
Do I think he's...
You know he's not the guy.
They can
I'm
win.
sorry. If you don't have a... Sorry to keep cutting you off. If you don't have a top 12 quarterback, just stop. Take it from me, who's spoiled, but also knows what it takes to win a Super Bowl.
You know me.
You can't have Kenny Pickett.
I give my 3-year rule
No.
to every quarterback.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it with him. It's like Mac Jones. He had that one season where he made the Pro Bowl, but I just knew deep down, like, he's not a good quarterback.
Well, you know how I feel. The majority of Bama quarterbacks usually really nothing to write home about. We have a few now. We do.
Okay, but Kenny Pickett?
I give all my quarterbacks the 3-year
It's
rule.
almost kind of a curse that he went to Pittsburgh because now I feel like you guys are obliged to give him a few more chances than you probably should.
Listen,
Listen,
I have to say, I would rather have taken Kenny Pickett than Malik Willis.
well, yeah,
but you had the Steelers were going to take a quarterback in that round. They took Kenny Pickett, and you got to give him the 3 years. I know you're not sold on him. Do I think that he's going to be a top quarterback in the league? No, but do I think that he could be at least a top 15? I do think I hold out faith in that, but
we'll get to Will Levis in a second. Like, why not just wait a year with Trubisky and then go get Will Levis last year? Like, I don't know.
Listen. Am
Kenny Pickett's not the guy.
Am I in the front office? No, I'm not. So I don't make these decisions. People are making.
How do you feel? I know you want to give him the 3, but genuinely, when you're watching him play football right now, the guy. There's only one answer: the guy or not the guy. How do you feel right now? Right now, screw a year from now.
I hold out hope for him.
So you think there is a good possibility?
I think there's a good possibility, but I do want to see what he looks like without a Matt Canada offense.
Know.
That's what I want to see.
But how much? Like, at some point, you just got to make the throws, though.
Trust me. I'm not arguing that some of these throws have been egregious, but at the same time, some of this play calling has been also egregious. The Steelers are at their biggest success when they have a wide receiver running deep down the field and Pickett hits him in stride.
I just don't. Just looking out for you. Look, I'm spoiled. I have Mahomes for the next 10, 15 years. You don't want to be a Giants fan. Look at what situation they're in. I don't even think you want Kenny Pickett to have like a decent season because then you're gonna pay him way too much. You need him to immediately look like a star. You need him to look like a Jalen Hurts, a Lamar, a Mahomes, a Herbert.
we've seen flashes that he can make big plays here and there.
Well, how many other quarterbacks have you seen flashes over the years where it just doesn't work out? Like, he doesn't have the chutzpah, as I would say. I know that's the only word that came to mind, but he doesn't have it.
All right, we're working a way to get that word in every episode.
Yeah, he doesn't have the chutzpah, guys. Just believe me.
Al, can you put the definition of that on the screen?
Here we go. All right. The Chiefs. So, Broncos 24, Chiefs 9. I was 14 years old the last time the Broncos beat the Chiefs. I was 13 the last time the Broncos beat the Chiefs in Denver. Look, I am...
Sam, just look what I have on the screen right now.
Actually, that makes me happy.
I just
Thank
have
you for
to.
putting that up and not something else. Look, guys, you want to probably see me come on here and start crying and thinking that it's the end of the world. It's not, but I am a little bit nervous. I was what a week last week for me to start boasting about how the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL and that no one can stop them because, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and be delusional. They have plenty of flaws right now.
Kadarius Toney, like I said, he's on his way to being a healthy scratch at this point.
Kadarius Toney.
He's bad.
And you want to know who's even worse than that? Sky Moore. I am so sick of Sky Moore.
I have emotional attachment to Sky Moore. You know.
Yeah, because
anyone.
you picked him as Offensive Rookie of the Year last year. You're not good at picking awards. Carson Wentz, year 1 MVP.
I have a bad track history with that.
Okay, but why is he on the field? Why? He doesn't do anything good. He has 0 traits. We could have had George Pickens. Have fun with George Pickens for the next 10 years, Chris, because he's freaking awesome. Yeah, thank you. Actually, keep that up because I'm talking about a lot of the Chiefs receivers right now. You got Sky Moore. Butterfingers, speaking of Halloween, he's got Butterfingers. He doesn't run routes well. He doesn't have any chemistry with Mahomes. He has no height, no speed. What's the point of him being on the field? The only guy right now, I just went like this because I'm stressed out. It's long hair. I can't take it. It's in my fucking face. I promise I wasn't going to be this crazy right now. I promise. But it's so annoying. Like, how are we so good at evaluating certain talent and then we just can't get the one guy that Mahomes needs to throw the ball to? Yes, we have Kelsey, but I'm saying lately, we have no receivers. The only guy I have any hope for right now is Rashee Rice, and he still has 1 to 2 big drops in the game. So it's not like he's perfect either. Yeah, he's very talented, but he needs to get shit worked out as well. So I don't know. It's Rashee Rice, Justin Watson. He's our second guy.
Calm down, Sam. Calm down. You're okay.
I don't want to do this anymore. Justin Watson. Does anyone even know who that is? Seriously. Like, he's our second best receiver. Kadarius Toney off the team. Get him off. Scammer, get him off the team. Richie James is on the trade block. He didn't even get to play a snap for us. Justin Ross got freaking arrested, of course. Who's left? MVS. He has 1 good game every 7 weeks. What's the point?
The point is he has 1 good game every 7 weeks. You said it yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, it really helps. Look, it's a chemistry issue for sure. It's a talent issue, especially with Sky Moore and probably Kadarius Toney. That's really my main issue right now. I mean, we could talk about the 5 turnovers that we had. Mecole Hardman had a great game last week in his debut back, and then he had that awful fumble on the punt, which basically ended the game right there, honestly, in my opinion. I haven't even mentioned Patrick Mahomes having the flu yet. Look, I'm not one of those guys that's going to make excuses. That's not why we lost the game. Yes, he looked off. He looked a little lethargic. That maybe hindered some of his play. But at the end of the day, 3 turnovers is 3 turnovers. And we just looked off.
And also with the flu, if I was hoping you wouldn't use that as like an excuse.
No, I'm not.
Because the way I look at it is he's played with a highly sprained ankle on, what was it, under a week? And that had to have impacted. Look, that impacts him more than the flu did.
I can be the type of fan who just goes, "Oh, they're holding Chris Jones on every play. That's why we lost." Oh, Patrick Mahomes, the reason why he didn't play well when he had the flu is because they want to keep Tom Brady as the GOAT. Because if Patrick Mahomes played well while having the flu, he'd be compared to Michael Jordan. And no, only Tom Brady can be compared to Michael Jordan because he's the OG GOAT and the NFL's rigged, so he can be the best one. No, I'm not that kind of guy. He just played like shit. Maybe he felt a little lethargic, but at the end of the day, they definitely shot him up with a shit ton of medication. And he still went out there and made a few nice throws here and there. But look, at the end of the day, the Broncos just wanted it more. This was a complete trap game. I still had the Chiefs winning, of course, because at the end of the day, if I'm a betting man, I'm going to bet on the Chiefs winning. But the Broncos ran better than us. We only ran it 8 times. What are we doing? Is this Kareem Hunt in the AFC wildcard game against the Titans? No.
This doesn't even surprise me that Denver won. The first time you guys played, it was an ugly game. And the Chiefs, their offense, like I've been saying, has been kind of lackluster. Their defense has been carrying them, and the defense played well. You hold the team to what, 21 points.
I heard a stat.
You should still be able to win most games if your offense is able to do its thing. When you hold a team to 21 or less, you should be fine. So it's also a divisional game. Weird stuff happens in divisional games. I'm not so concerned. Listen, Kansas City still is at the top of my power rankings even after this loss. The Ravens are right on their tails, but I'm not worried about the Chiefs. They play the Dolphins next week, who, as we've seen, and it seems like kind of hard to believe, the Dolphins have yet to beat a team with a winning record. So as a Chief fan, I know it's like still the Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, returning this and that, but you should still feel fairly confident because the Chiefs shine their best when they're against the best.
We need to really clean some stuff up. The Broncos just look like they wanted it more. And
I feel when Andy Reid's at his best, sorry to cut you off, but I feel like when Andy Reid's at his best, it's after a loss. Like after you guys lost to the Lions this year and had all those drops, and next week you guys came out. I don't think you guys dropped one pass. You guys won. After this week, just looked sluggish and looked like you guys didn't get off the plane right. And he'll have you guys
twice in a row. I think 3 times in his entire career.
He'll have you guys. He'll have you guys right. He's at his best after a loss.
I mean, the only other note from the game is just we're getting way too cute in the red zone. I really don't like the play calling at this point. I don't know exactly who's calling what plays between Andy Reid and Matt Nagy, but I'm gonna say it's Matt Nagy because you're feeling a difference between Eric Bieniemy not being there at this point, and especially without the trust of Mahomes' receivers. Like you're throwing it behind the line of scrimmage, -3 yards, when you need 2 yards on a third down near the red zone. You're throwing a swing pass behind you. What is this, the Alex Smith era? Like, you have Mahomes. I get he has the flu, but that's no excuse. I'm not using that excuse. So he better throw it down the field. He made a few nice passes in the first half. It's just ridiculous. Like, dump it off. Honestly, I didn't even agree with Mahomes' decision to throw that 4th down pass to Sky Moore where he dropped it in the end zone. I think he should have just kept dumping it off. Like, it was just the wrong decision, and I just want to throw out this game, honestly. I'm not going to sit here and be like, the world's falling or anything, but look, Broncos fans, congrats. You had your Super Bowl this year. And, you could boast all you want. You guys are 3-5 and we're still Super Bowl contenders. So I'd much rather lose to you for the first time in 17 games than to, not be super. Thank you. Exactly.
Bronco fans are not liking me right now, but the only reason
Broncos fans don't even care about me. They're just they're on a high
The
right
only reason
now.
I'm doing this is because if you don't beat a team in 7 years,
yeah,
8
years,
and you see them 2 times you see them 2 times a season, and you can beat them once in that span.
Enjoy it.
I mean, enjoy your Super Bowl.
One last thing. Look, Mahomes, I'm not gonna sit here and start screaming at the camera this time, but Mahomes, I brought a little something for you. Please get better. I have some Robitussin, so it's not Tylenol. I'm not gonna freak out this time. This is genuinely out of my concern. You know how shitty that is to go on a long plane ride to Germany and have the stomach flu. So get better. Take some Robitussin. I'm going to put that right here for you. And let's move on.
I feel like we have to throw this back real quick to the first episode we ended up recording and putting on YouTube, because the light next to you fell, and now the light next to me went out just a few moments ago. So I feel like
we also have an iPad right there that's like on the verge of smashing into the wall. Like, it is being held up by the weakest boxes of all time.
We didn't even acknowledge the light the first time, so I feel like we had to acknowledge the light this time.
Yeah, we got to be a little bit more aware, because I looked like a serial or psychopath, just like talking through the light falling and everything else being chaotic. You were trying to get my attention. I was like, I'll just talk through it.
The thing is, I didn't know what to do, because if something happens, usually just like go through, act like it doesn't happen. Nobody will notice, but
there's something's happening right now. We have a battery fell out of the camera, and now I have to look here because the camera died for a second. So hello here, and Chris, you look at the iPad. But okay, talking about revenge.
And now Jasper is back.
Jasper's back. Okay, this is great. You know what? I'll stall for about 2 more seconds, because I think it's fair enough that we bring up a jump scare on the TV. You want to bring up Mr. Smith, if you know what I mean? Okay, good. Here.
Oh yeah.
So listen,
okay, we have a bunch of Halloween stuff.
So listen, if you didn't tune in last week, please go around the 30-minute mark, maybe a little bit after that. I lost my mind. That's basically what happened. Bijan Robinson in fantasy football last week got me 0 points because he had a headache. That's it. One of the worst ways I've ever lost in 11 years of playing. And then, Alice, the camera back up yet? Okay, so look at it right here. Arthur Smith, Falcons head coach. If you also go back and look at that episode, I basically turned into him by the end of the episode because I was wearing a black hoodie with a red hat. This was sweet. Let's talk some Falcons-Titans, or Falcons-Oilers, as we should say. Really quickly, let's just get the Will Levis stuff out of the way before I boast a little bit about the Falcons.
I have a lot to say about this, Sam. All right. As you know, I was very high on Will Levis coming out of the draft. I had him going to the Colts, which
I think I did too.
Which it just seemed like a good fit. I liked him the most out of any quarterback in the draft. I had Stroud going first.
You had him over Stroud and Bryce Young. You liked him more?
No, I had Stroud going 1 to the Panthers. I had Bryce Young going 2 to the Texans. I forgot what the Colts picked, but I had Levis going there.
And I think I had Richardson going to the Raiders or something.
I think I had. I forgot where I had
so
Richardson.
Weird now thinking about it.
Yeah, but
Can't picture him on the Raiders.
I really like Stroud too.
Anyway, let's talk about Will Levis.
Anyway, Will Levis, he came out and
really quickly, Bryce Young just beat CJ Stroud, even though the Panthers are a lot worse. He still has that on him for the rest of his career.
And after I shit on Frank Reich last week, I said they were going to get a win. And look at that. They won 13-12.
There we go. He beat me on that split game.
With a fullback scoring. Anyway,
okay.
Coming out of going into the season, I said that when Will Levis got drafted to the Titans, I liked it. You have DeAndre Hopkins, a veteran wide receiver who still has some left in the tank. That could really help him. And you know how I feel. It's just, at this point, it's a fact. You get a young quarterback, pair him up with the top wide receiver who's capable of actually doing stuff, and you'll see magic happen. In this game, Hopkins had 3 touchdowns on, 4 catches?
I don't remember the catches, but every single touchdown of his was a big play. Even like the shorter slant, he made a few nice spin moves. So it was nice to see like a vintage DeAndre Hopkins.
And it made his life much easier, which... Listen, if you're the Titans, you're not trading Derrick Henry. I don't know why, because at this point...
I'm telling you, Chris, like for some reason...
Why are they holding on to him?
The Titans are just holding on for dear life with that team. They still think there's like one last chance. It's just not. You got to trade him. You know what? Maybe they do, but no one wants them.
I know I'm a little bit all over the place here, but I have so much on my mind about the Titans because it's such an interesting scenario. If I'm the Titans, you stick with Will Levis because he's young and this Titans team is not running a championship. And if you're fine being mediocre, okay, be my guest. But they need to... Maybe move Tannehill to a backup role, or maybe you trade him and you get something for him. I don't know what. But if you're the Titans, you need to trade Derrick Henry. I know you're not, but if I was there, I'm trading Derrick Henry. And I don't know what Henry's value is around the league, but maybe you get, I'm just saying, making it up. You can get 2 draft picks for him, okay? Let's just say in this world, it's a 4th and 5th round draft pick, okay? I don't know what his value is.
I think that's a pretty nice deal if you're the guy getting Derrick Henry, 4th and 5th.
Let's just say a 4th and 5th. It could be higher than that. I really don't. I'm just going to go around and say 4th. You know what? Let's say 3rd and 4th, okay? Let's just say for Henry, you can go out there.
3 and 5.
3 and 5, okay? But then you go out and you go to move him. Next year, he might only be worth a 5th round draft pick. What are you doing at that point? You're just holding on to this guy with this contract and you're killing the amount of capital you can get back for him with the guy who, frankly, has been very quiet this year. And we've seen it with running backs. Is this the decline of Derrick Henry, or is it just a mixture of decline of Derrick Henry and the Titans being bad, or is it just the Titans being bad? It's a whole variable of things right there. But it's up for concern because his value, he has a lot of name value right now because of what people know he can do. So I'm a little concerned with that. So I think they move on from him, but they're not going to move on from him. The report came out that it's not happening, which is just mind-boggling.
It must mean they're just asking for a lot. It has to be that.
At this point, you stick with Levis and you just build from the ground up there. You already have the coaching. You have a young quarterback who I know was just 1 start, but he showed a lot of promise.
You could, if you're Will Levis, you could ride on that performance for weeks. Like, look at how I did. Please give me the starting job. Like, even if he's not going to be that good every week, obviously. But like, you have a performance like that. That's a first impression if there ever is one.
I know it's a little bit all over the place with that, but you got what I was trying to say about everything, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Something I was gonna say about the Derrick Henry thing is like I don't know every team's cap situation, but a team like the Bills who just traded for Leonard Fournette, like the only situation you would want Derrick Henry, just like you said, is to have him for the rest of the season and then try to get something out of trading him next offseason.
This is the time to trade him. Like right now, you can't
A playoff contender needs him.
You can't wait to the offseason or sometime next year. Now is the time if you're going to trade for this guy.
This is it. He's
name value.
Old.
You can think he has stuff left in the tank.
And imagine you have him, if you're like the Ravens or the Bills, you have him for a playoff run and he makes a big impact in the playoffs. That's all the tape you need to get a good enough trade after that. So.
And also, DeAndre Hopkins, great game. Will the Titans move on from Hopkins and use that? They can ride on that, and maybe they can.
I think Vrabel. I just don't think he likes tearing it down.
I think the Titans are just going to stay put and not make any moves. Maybe they'll try and bring a linebacker or another offensive piece in, but I don't think they're going to sell.
It's like Belichick. They just care about winning too much that they're not going to tear it down.
It is going to be an exciting deadline, and I mean that's going to be tomorrow. So
today's Monday.
Yeah, we're gonna be recording. I don't know when this is going to be going up, but
probably in a few days. Yeah.
You guys will know. We have another episode recording tomorrow. That's going to probably start after the trade deadline. So
we're gonna have some stuff coming in.
Yeah, it's gonna be a busy next 24 hours.
Okay. Really quick with the Falcons. So the reason why we have Arthur Smith.
They did it.
Best case scenario. First of all, if we're talking my fantasy team, if you guys are wondering how I'm doing mental health wise, I'm doing a little bit better this week. However, I still have Sam Laporta tonight. I'm down by 7. So you'll see next episode. If I'm very happy, you know that Sam Laporta got the 7 points. If I'm depressed, we're not even talking about the game tomorrow probably, but you'll know about it. Trust me. So, Bijan got his first ever rushing touchdown. He had 12. I'll take 12 fantasy points any day. Sometimes people are like, 12's not that good. No, that's like 100 to me. So thank you, Bijan. It's going to be really hard to say, but thank you, Arthur Smith, for putting him in. Okay, I didn't mean that. No, I can't say that. But thank you, Bijan, for scoring that touchdown. And guess what, Arthur Smith? You lost the game because your guy, Van Jefferson, couldn't catch a pass on 4th down. So take that. I have a little mustache. I'll shave it off. That's right. Who does that? The middle finger. All right.
You do it now.
It's so nice though. Like I hate the Falcons now. I never hated the Falcons before last week, and it's just every game. I want every game to be like this, where they just lose on some BS like that, and just Bijan is still doing well, and it just feels good, Chris. It just feels good.
Sam got the last laugh over Arthur Smith.
I really have.
For now.
And everyone hates him, so if they don't make the playoffs, hopefully he's fired.
Well, yeah, because I feel with the new head coach and a better quarterback, I'm willing to. I'm gonna live on this hill forever. Kyle Pitts is a 1,000-yard guy forever.
There we go.
I will always say that about Kyle Pitts. I
think I feel better.
I don't know if I'll ever be able to jump off the
down.
Kyle Pitts bandwagon. I'm gonna be riding on that forever.
He's not terrible this year.
He's
having a better season so far than last year.
With a different head coach and a better quarterback, he could easily have 1,000 yards.
Yeah, that's why he's another trade candidate. I know they're never going to do it, but imagine him and Kelsey. That would get rid of our receiving problem right now. Okay, we can't get too far-fetched.
2 wide receiver sets.
We only have a little bit of time left. Let's do quickly our game predictions for week 9. And then we have just a short Halloween-themed segment that'll take a few minutes. That's a little bit fun at the end. So let's start, Chris. We have the Oilers up here for how they wore those beautiful uniforms.
They just need to go back to those uniforms.
Unfortunately,
so nice.
I know. Unfortunately, they're going back to the Titans this week, but they're playing the Steelers in Pittsburgh Thursday Night Football. Chris, what do you have?
The Steelers are going to win. And Sam, as you said, Thursday Night Football, Pittsburgh Steelers, they're due for a defensive touchdown, and defense is how they're going to win this game.
Al Michaels is just going to be snoring through the entire thing. He's the worst announcer in the NFL right now. Worse than Joe Buck. I don't care. Perfect. All right. Go ahead, though.
I have the Steelers winning this game. It's going to be boring. I'm going to go 16-13.
That is insane. I have the Steelers winning this game 16-13.
We finally did it, Sam.
Finally. We have the same score. All right. Let's see if we're right. If we're right, we have to celebrate. All right.
I'll do a handstand if we're right. I'll attempt to do a handstand.
Yeah, go ahead. You're gonna knock down the
Actually, no, forget about that because I'll probably take down at least 3 cameras.
Okay.
I'm taking down something if I try to do that.
I'll just go solo after that if that happens. I'll still use your basement, but all right. Well, Chiefs are up next. Of course, it's the Germany game right before both the Chiefs and the Dolphins bye. So this is it. After the Broncos game, I haven't pulled out the panic button yet, but if we look pretty similar to how we did yesterday, like we did against the Broncos, against the Dolphins, in a huge game right now, we still luckily have sole possession of first place in the AFC. But if we lose this game, no, we don't. So I just got to ride with the fact that Mahomes will be pissed off that game just happened, and they're going to be super aware that this one's huge. So I'm going to pick a fun one, a little more high scoring, but I got to go with the Chiefs, another time to pull it out, 29-27.
All right, Chiefs, Dolphins. I've been saying it all episode long. They can't win against a team with a winning record. Chiefs, Andy Reid, they're going to play best when they come off from a loss. I know exactly.
Alex just bumped his head on the table. Why are you on your back? Sorry.
Oh, man. So the Chiefs are going to come out here and win. It's in Germany. Tyreek Hill will score a touchdown against the Chiefs, but they are going to win, Sam, 25-23.
25-23. Okay, there's your 25 early.
I had to give it early.
Chiefs 25.
And it just had.
Wow.
And the thing is, it had to
Double
be.
whammy.
It had to be in Germany too, because the scores are always a little weird.
That's why I
when
did
they play
29. I feel
London,
like.
and these overseas. So
yeah. Okay, the next 4 games are completely useless, so let's go past them very quickly.
Let's just not even give predictions for them.
No, we have to. Falcons, Vikings. I mean, the Vikings, who knows who's going out there at quarterback? Jaron Paul? I don't know. So
I got a call from the Vikings. They want me to play. I saw my Madden clips.
If they saw your Madden clips, you are not even getting into like high school football. All right. That sounds. I don't know. Falcons.
Why is he just hating on me?
You want? Okay, we're gonna live stream Madden soon. We're gonna have one video come out, and then you will understand. All right.
I'm gonna win that game.
Falcons, Vikings. I promised literally last week I would never pick the Falcons to win again. I can't. Who's Jaron Paul? I'm sorry.
I'll give you an exemption.
This is a 1 week buffer. That's it. Just because we don't even know who the quarterback is. Watch the Vikings win now, but 20-13 Falcons.
Yeah, I think the Falcons will win here. I'm gonna go 24-3.
3 points. That's so bad. I'm sorry, Al. Sorry, but at least I gave you a touchdown, a couple field goals. Bears, Saints. Who gives a shit about this game?
I do, Sam. I care.
Okay, who do you have the game then?
I have the Saints winning.
I also have the Saints winning 23-14.
55-2. No, I'm kidding.
No, let's keep 55-2. All right, Packers, Rams.
No. Saints, I'm going to say 31-28.
All right, Packers, Rams. Rams win it 20-17. I'm sorry, Packers fans. I was trying my hardest to be on the Packers bandwagon. It's not happening anymore.
This is tough. This is a Rams team that is bad. This is a Packers team that just hasn't had a good run as of late. But, I'm going to say the Packers will bounce back and win this game. I know.
Score
is going to be 23-20.
Okay. And then the other pointless game, Commanders, Patriots. Just boring. It's going to be low scoring. I do have the Commanders winning it, though. I think it could go either way, but I'm going to have it 18-13.
The Commanders, they're not too shabby, be at the enemy, and they're running a pretty good offense there. Howell looks he's not even half decent. He looks pretty decent. He had a great game against the Eagles. I know they came up short, but the Patriots, they look abysmal. Kendrick Bourne came out. He tore his ACL, so that was their top target right there. And the Patriots, down another wide receiver. Season's over for them. So I'm going to go with the Commanders winning here, and I'm going to say 33-20.
All right, and then a game that is good, but I'm not going to give my hopes up because of what happened with Ravens-Lions, but it's Ravens-Seahawks. I won't make it a blowout, but I also won't make it this crazy game. I'm just going to have the Ravens winning because they keep proving time and time when they're healthy. They're just the better team than a lot of teams. So I like the Seahawks, but let's make it 31-20 Ravens.
Now, I'm going another split game with you here.
All right.
I think the Seahawks are going to come out and win this game. It just feels like the Ravens, they've had a lot of good run recently, but I think this is one of those games that they're going to hit a little bump in the road right now around this point in the season, and they're not going to look bad. Just the Seahawks to make an addition to with the Giants, getting a defensive lineman, and I think the Seahawks are going to come out and open up some people's eyes. Because, Sam, if we look on our TikTok, _in the huddle, in the huddle _
Yes.
You had the Seahawks sitting at your number 5.
That's right. It caused a little bit of controversy.
But it's nothing that
first place, NFC West.
Also, shout out to us on our Bengals call.
Let's go. Yeah, we're getting a lot of flack for the Bengals being one of the scariest teams in the NFL. But
so I'm going to go with Seahawks winning here. I'm going to say 27-26. Close game. It's going to be a very fun game.
Okay. Bucks, Texans. This game has never happened before until now because I can't picture this game. Actually, I can picture this game. Really random. This game happened in Tampa Bay 4 years ago. Remember the pick 6 at the beginning of the game? Jameis Winston. I actually do remember Bucks, Texans. All right. I'm going to pick the Texans this time. I think that CJ Stroud is slightly better than Baker Mayfield right now. No disrespect, but Houston at home, I'm going to have a 1-point win, 17-16.
I'm going to go with the Bucks winning here. I don't know. It seems like
split?
the Bucks are always just flip-flopping. I know the Texans, CJ Stroud looks phenomenal as a rookie. Very fun team. I'm just going to go with the Bucks winning here. It just seems like that type of spot when the Texans are starting to hit a little bit of a bump in the road. Rookie quarterback. And I'm going to say Bucks. What do I want to say? I'll say 23-19.
All right, and then Cardinals, Browns. At this point, the Cardinals have phoned it in. They always keep it close in the first half, but the Browns' defense is just way too good to have this being close. I'm going to have it 22-10, Browns.
Sam, I'm feeling a little bit spooky on this Halloween Eve here today.
Don't do it.
Arizona Cardinals.
Go ahead.
I am. Cardinals are going to win this game against the Browns. Brown fans, you gotta love me with how much love I'm giving you guys this year so far. I'm gonna say.
Well, you also do need to pick against the Browns because.
Well, yeah, because they're the Browns. Yeah. The Browns are gonna Brown.
Okay,
and
I trust.
We know how this
to an
team is.
extent.
What?
I trust you to an extent. I trust you knowing the Browns better than me, but also I just can't picture the Cardinals winning. I really can't. Go ahead.
James Murray is gonna get a win this week.
Oh, Jonathan Gannon. I'm like, what are you talking about? I first thought of that ref that looks like him. Pull up Murr from now. Don't do it.
So I'm gonna
pull up my favorite celebrity, Murr. All right.
I'm gonna say 24-17.
Okay. Panthers, Colts. Also, I just remember for some reason 4 years ago, this was the game that guy on the Colts had 2 kick returns for a touchdown. Yep. 2 punt returns for a touchdown. Naheem Hines. 23-13 though. I'm gonna pick the Colts to win this.
Yeah, I think the Colts are going to put up points here against the bad Panthers secondary. Panthers, they got their win. No more winless teams this year. I'm going to say Colts are going to win. I'm going to say, and Minshew, we know he can put up points. They're one of the most drop-back heavy teams, which is going to benefit the Colts. And this offense, explosive. Book it, Josh Downs, touchdown. Gardner Minshew, going to have 275 passing yards this game. Colts are going to win 33-17.
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor, touchdown.
All right, a few more games left. Giants, Raiders. This one's going to be boring. I have it low scoring, although I don't want to pick them, but I just don't trust Tommy DeVito. So let's do Raiders win this one 17-10.
Yeah, this one's tough because even with, let's say Tyrod plays or let's say Daniel Jones plays, do you really have faith in the Giants? But the Raiders, they're also known to just playing pretty pathetic at points. This is tough. I can see the Giants winning, but I have to just be smart here, and the Raiders are going to win, and it's going to be a boring game, 21-18 Raiders. The Giants have phoned this season in. It's over.
Yeah, absolutely. Eagles, Cowboys. This one's interesting, except right now you just can't really trust the Cowboys to win the big game until they prove it. So I got to pick the Eagles at home, 27-20.
Yep, I'm going to go with the Eagles to beat the Cowboys as well. Cowboys, congratulations. You beat a bad team last week, and now you play the best team in the NFC at this point, and probably the second best team in the. They have the Ravens. Top 3 team are in the. I'm gonna say top 3 team in the. Can't even speak. Top 3 team in the NFL right now, in the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's gonna be high scoring. There's gonna be fireworks here. I'm gonna say 42-37. My gosh, 42-37. Eagles are gonna win.
Okay, and then we got the Sunday Night Football game. Finally, Eagles-Dolphins was a good matchup a couple weeks ago, but please, I keep asking every week at this point, can we just have a nice primetime game where it's actually close between 2 really good teams? We have the Bills and the Bengals. The Bills kind of looking weird the last few weeks. The Bengals have now won 3 in a row. They look like a scary team. Of course, we've talked about them last week. So I said that the Bengals are going to start rolling after they lose to the Niners. They did beat the Niners, unfortunately, but that's because I didn't know Brock Purdy actually did start and they still lost. But let's go Bengals win this 24-20.
Yep, I'm gonna go Bengals are gonna win this game. They've been on a roll. No need to hop off now. Bengals gonna win. I'm gonna say 29-26.
Okay, and then finally Jets Chargers. This one's gonna be kind of wild.
This can go either way.
What's gonna happen?
This can go either way.
This pains me to say it again, but I'll pick the Chargers, even though I could totally see them losing this game. It'll be weird. 23-16.
It's like you said to me pre-show. The Jets, I just can't find a way for them to be 2 games over 500. It just doesn't make sense to me right now. They have to go back to 500 right now. They're going to be 4-4. Chargers are going to win. Congrats, Chargers. You beat a bad team. Still not going to make the playoffs. We know the whole scenario. We know the whole spiel. Chargers will charge your Brandon Staley. You need to go. Chargers win. I'm going to say I'm gonna say 31-27.
All right, that's our week 9 game predictions. Really quickly, do you want to just list our top 5 Halloween candies? It's a day removed from Halloween. We made our list. I thought it'd be fun just to, share what we like during Halloween. I haven't went trick-or-treating in years, but we still buy the Halloween candy in case we want to hand it out. So I definitely have my fair share of eating the Halloween candy, Chris. So want to start off with our number ones because we both have the same one, and honestly, other than having an allergy, I don't know how you don't pick this as your number one candy. Jasper, I know you agree. Actually, no, you can't have this candy because you're a dog, but if you were human, you would definitely agree. Chris, who's going against Reese's peanut butter cups? Come on, who's going against it? Honestly,
I don't think
peanut
Jasper
allergy aside, right?
That your number one, Reese's?
Yeah, it's your number one, right?
No, I have.
Oh, I thought it was your number one.
I have my all-time favorite M&M's number one. I mean, an M&M Blizzard from Dairy Queen. Oh man, that's lethal.
Okay, but what makes it the most tasty? The M&Ms or the Blizzard?
It's a combination of both, but with M&Ms, you have so many different types. You have it's versatile.
This is gonna turn into Taste Buds.
The M&Ms are like the Swiss Army knife candy. You have caramel, you have the plain, you have the mini, you have peanut. So many things. You have the pretzel.
Okay,
M&Ms.
what M&Ms are you taking though?
Any
a specific one? Any. You're gonna take all M&Ms.
Any type.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, Chris is. I guess.
Now, my favorite M&M.
I like M&Ms. It's just
my favorite has to be the normal
crunchy one.
Straight up,
straight up,
just like the original. Then you got peanut. Then you have the minis. I like the minis that come in that like tube. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, you just
that's just a lot of nostalgia right there.
Yeah.
I
like M&Ms. It's just for number one. It's not flavorful enough, in my opinion. Yeah. I think that you take a bite of that Reese's cup. It's insane.
Reese's are. I mean, this whole top 5 is.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot.
It's interchangeable, and it's just how I'm feeling.
All right, number 2, I'm going Kit Kat.
Yeah, I have Kit Kat as well.
Okay.
Another little throwback when Dairy Queen had Kit Kat Blizzards. Oh man, they need to bring this back. I will sign a petition to bring back the Kit Kat Blizzard because the second that they took that off the menu, my life has gone down the drain.
I will be honest with Kit Kats, like the second you bite into the wafer, it's kind of like whatever, but it's the fun part.
So I mean, with Kit Kats, I used to make at home like Kit Kat Blizzard. Like I used to just like throw it in a blender, blend it up. I mean, Sam, this is
okay. Let's move. All right. We're gonna turn to a food podcast really quick. Third, I have a definitely controversial one: Swedish fish.
Swedish fish, they're not bad, but I wouldn't have it in my top 5.
Give it a thumbs down from the crowd.
It's a big, it's an opinion.
I knew it was gonna be controversial.
It's all very opinion based there, and that's probably on like my top 20 list. Swedish fish.
Oh, thanks.
I didn't get into Swedish fish until like later in life. Probably the last like 3 years.
They give you cavities, but besides that, like it's just I love Swedish fish.
Well, so that's what candy does. It gives you cavities. I'm glad
what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Snickers.
So overrated.
I mean, what else do I need to say? It's delicious. The Snickers ice cream bar.
All right. Number 4, Twix.
I have Reese's at number 4.
Okay. Do you have Twix on your top 5?
No, I don't.
That's insane. Twix honestly could be number 3 for me. Number 5, I have Butterfinger.
I have Nestle Crunch Bar at number 5.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all right.
Hold on, Sam. Do you have an honorable mention?
I do have an honorable mention.
I do too.
I have Dots as my honorable mention. Probably one of the weirdest ones I could possibly have. I don't think anyone likes Dots besides me. Okay, Al likes Dots. Good. The red dots, the pink dots, you can't. There's nothing better than that, honestly.
Okay, yeah, no.
Those are like almost as good as Swedish fish.
I know I made a face, but I've never had Dots in my life.
You can't make a face.
No, I can make a face because I just did.
Okay, then what's yours?
I have Nerds as my honorable mention.
Nerds.
Yeah. Jasper, what's your favorite?
Oh, Nerd Rope is good. Who the hell is Nerds?
You open the little box, you down it, it's all like sweet, and you make the face, and then you got like the nerd like rope.
All right. That's it though. That's our top 5. Let us know in the comments if you disagree or agree. We've become a food podcast. No, I'm just kidding. That was a fun segment for Halloween, but yeah, that's it. We have our our week 9 coming up next week. I'm excited for it. We hit the mid-season. We're gonna have a mid-season episode coming at you probably the day after this episode drops. It's a lot of fun. But Chris, other than that, that's about it.
Sam, this was as always amazing. It's been a good ride, and talking about candy, man. I might go get myself a Blizzard tonight. It might just have to be one of those nights.
Okay. Well, you go do that because I clearly can't have Blizzard at this time. Okay. Anyways, that's about it. Yeah. I have nothing else to say. So thank you guys for listening.
Hey, look at that. It's like perfect timing because the other lights just went out. So
at least the iPad didn't fall this time.
it's going to fall.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Please go watch us on YouTube. But besides that, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
See you guys later.